Welcome to the FWOT Show on the Coil Entertainment Network, pointing out idiocy one story at a time. I'm Rob Steele, that's Jesus Jones in the background. Yes, the date is rapidly approaching for the new album, April 20th. It's called Passages. Check it out, sounds good. But first we're going to deal with a fallacy. Yeah, lots of those going around. This one is one I've talked about before, and we need to talk about it again because it keeps coming around. Why do McDonald's employees deserve $15 an hour when I do a much more dangerous job as a cop or a construction worker or an EMT or a soldier? And that keeps going and going. I can answer this question. And it's good for everyone. Now, you see, we need to kind of start with the McDonald's employees because right now there's a lot of people working at McDonald's or Burger King or Wendy's or Arby's or Taco Bell, whatever. Fast food. And these are people who deserve better jobs. I know people with multiple degrees and doctorates working at McDonald's because, no one's hiring. Oh dear. Well, got to do what you got to do. And if you end up at McDonald's, that sucks. Trust me on this one. Now, do these people deserve, no matter what their educational status, their upbringing, their sexual orientation, all that stuff, does it really matter where they work? Do they not deserve a wage you can live on? I mean, how hard is that as a concept? You work a job, you should be able to live on the money you make from the job. They can't. Which is why we need to move it up to $15 an hour, because that's something most people can live on. Barely, but it's a start. Now, let's move up to the people who have the higher training, the cops, the firemen, women, and other sexual orientations that go along with that, construction workers, soldiers, EMTs, doctors, whatever, who are right now making $15 an hour going, hang on a minute, those people are going to be making the same amount of money that I am? That can't be legal. You know what? If they get more money and you have a much more dangerous, highly trained, important job, then you're going to be getting a raise too. I agree that you should be making more than someone who works fast food, even if it is not the fast food employee's fault for being in that position. Yes, cops should make more than burger flippers. And once we get the burger flippers up, we can go, hang on a minute, that means these other people should get more money too. Raises for everyone to a point where we can all live and only have to work one job and move the country forward economically. That's what we're talking about here. We're on the same side. And for those of you who keep posting things on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and wherever the hell you post this stuff that says McDonald's workers shouldn't get that because I'm not getting that, really what you're doing is you're arguing against you getting more money for yourself. It's not going to be immediate, but it's going to happen. And that's what we are fighting for. And you should be fighting for it too, because it will help you and the other people who need it. Do you get it now? I mentioned education, and education is actually a very helpful thing to have in your life. However, do not expect a whole lot of help from the so-called President of the United States. He doesn't seem to be into education. He seems to be an idiot, as evidenced by, because this is the way he talks to everyone, a tweet came out on March 30th. Let me read this to you. Community college, call it vocational and technical school. People know what that means. They don't know what community college means. Maybe call it the 13th grade. That's more like it. Community college makes it sound like it's a real college, and it's not. It's only for dummies. People know what it means. They don't know what it means. Contradicting yourself. In the same tweet in consecutive sentences, spectacular POTUS. You know what? My biggest complaint about what this idiot has come up with is that he goes through all this talking about colleges and higher education and finishes it up by misspelling the word dummies. You remember when Dan Quayle misspelled the word potato and we decided, you know what? That's enough for you to not be vice president anymore. This guy just misspelled dummies. I think that means we can just vote him off the planet. What do you think? I think that's a great idea. And while we're at it, let's get rid of sexual predators, because that's a segue. I think we should get rid of those as well. And so does a wonderful woman by the name of Crystal Legionnaires, which sounds like it should be an sci-fi army kind of thing. Crystal Legionnaires. I like the idea. Anyway, she was at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints semi-annual general conference where they get all the officials from the church together and do this big global teleconference. And she stood up in the middle of it and said very loudly, "Stop protecting sexual predators." Said it loud, yelled it in fact, 3 times across a global conference. Because she's tired of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints allegedly protecting their priests who are molesting the altar boys. I think that's a good idea. They should stop doing that. She thinks that's a good idea and that they should stop doing that. The church, however, escorted her from the building because, why protect the kids? Seriously. I mean, people have been going after kids this week, and I do not understand that. The Florida school where there were survivors of a shooting who have become, national heroes to some people and really big annoyances to people who are homosexual. You know what? Screw them. But why are people attacking the people who survived at this Florida school? I don't understand that. Ted Nugent, right? Segue, was unearthed again this week and said that the survivors of the school in Florida are soulless. These are the same kind of people, Ted Nugent fans and whatever. These are the same people that have taken pictures of David Hogg, the guy who's trying to get the guns to not necessarily go away, but set up some common sense gun legislation so he can go to school without getting shot at. Just saying. Now there's pictures of him on those silhouette things you see at gun ranges. Why are people making targets of David Hogg? He's a high school kid. How exactly is supporting the shooting of a high school kid acceptable to anyone? Especially if you are a member, or worse, a leader of the political party of family values. Right. That makes sense. Let's attack the kids that are trying to get common sense gun legislation passed. There's been a lot of things floating around along the net that show pictures of David Hogg saying things like, the other generations before us don't understand what it's like to be shot at. And the response has been, well, they went to wars and you didn't, David. He's not talking about going to war. He's not. He's talking about going to school. There has not been a generation before where you are afraid to go to school on a daily basis because there's going to be someone there with a gun to shoot you. There hasn't been. There just hasn't. It's recent generations where we've made the guns bigger and more powerful and automatic. Yeah, that's right. Easily convertible. Automatic weapons, semi-automatic weapons. Hell, that'll work too. And so readily available. why do we have that? We don't need that. But that's not the issue that they're worried about. That's not the issue that Republicans care about. It's not. They're worried about voter fraud because there was so much voter fraud in the last election. That's how Trump got elected. What? Did you really? Is that where you're going? Well, with all the fussing they've been making, voter fraud, look how much voter fraud there is. Well, they found someone. Oh, look, her name is Crystal as well. That's right, singular. She was in Texas. Her name was Crystal Mason. They found her this week and sentenced her to a 5-year prison term for voting illegally. Now, the thing was, she was out on bail. While you're out on bail, you're not allowed to vote. She did not know that. She was sent a lot of stuff that said, hey, go vote. So she, and went and voted. Hello? One person sentenced to 5 years for voting illegally. Well, couple things. One, hey, you found her, that one person who voted illegally for Donald Trump. Hello? 5 years. You only get 3 months for drugging and raping a woman in a dumpster, but hey, vote illegally, 5 years. Because that's fair. Yeah. Well, we already know that it's good for ADHD, depression, it helps you lose weight, lowers the risks of diabetes, and even cures some cancers. But now there's a new study about what cannabis does to your bones. That's right. Marijuana does things to your bones. All those good things, but what does it do for your bones? It strengthens them and accelerates the healing of fractures without causing any psychotropic effects. Yep. This study was published by the Journal of Bone and Mineral Research and conducted by researchers from Tel Aviv and the Hebrew University. Marijuana. Yep, it's so good for you, the government won't let you have it. Why? 'Cause it's good for you. See if that makes any sense. Actually, it makes about as much sense as that whole line that says, all people are created equal? There are thousands of children in Texas who are waiting to be adopted. Segue. However, the Texas Senate approved an adoption law that says unless you are Christian, married, and straight, you cannot adopt anyone. Which means if you're Jewish or single or in any way gay, no adoptions for you. Because all people are created equal. They're just not treated that way. Welcome to America. If you have any comments, questions, or story ideas for the show, contact me through the website, thefwotshow.com, where you'll find buttons for Facebook and Twitter and email. Actually, the email is rob@thefwotshow.com. That's easy enough, I would think. Send me something. But while you're on the website, also check out the FWOT shop, where you can get a t-shirt or a hat or a coffee mug. It'll help go to support everything on the Coil Entertainment Network. And I'm going to leave you with, 2 things I'm going to leave you with, because I couldn't figure out which one was the stupidest thing I've read this week. One is a story out of Florida, and let me just read you the headline. Florida men, one disguised in bull costume, allegedly tried to burn down ex-boyfriend's home with spaghetti sauce. That's a headline. You can look that up and read the story and find out just how stupid it is on your own. Or you can go with this sign that I found outside an Acomb Parish church. I loved this because Easter was this past Sunday, and they hung up a large banner that said, "Chris is risen." Now, granted, I'm pretty sure it was supposed to say Christ, and they just kind of, forgot the T, because it's a typo. T for typo. And so until next time, be safe, and remember, Chris is not really so much risen as he just, got off the couch and went for more beer in the fridge. Yeah, that wouldn't fit on the sign too well, would it? We'll see you next time.